Hi guys. What I have for you today is I want to give you a brief overview of how to use the Scandinavian Defense against a low-rated player to try to play for a win. So we've played two moves here and we already have unbalanced pawns. I don't know if it gets any better than that if you're playing for a win. Some people play for a win by sharp attacks with the pieces and all that. I'm capable of tactics, but these days I've been thinking more about pawns and pawn structures and trying to play for win that way. Because the thing about pawns is that they're forever, right? The pawns are still going to be unbalanced in the middle game and the end game. Once you get those unbalanced pawns, you can be very patient in trying to play for win. You don't have to rush it. So the game continued with the main line here. Normal here in this position is knight e5, bishop e5, g4, bishop g6, and h4. And black has to do some cartwheels to deal with this harassed bishop. It's actually a real headache in the Scandinavian. But white opted for a quieter approach and just played h3. And after bishop f5, he offered a bishop trade. And I'm like, where do I sign? I mean, this is great. I just got rid of half my problems in the Scandinavian. The Scandinavian does have its drawbacks, and one of which is it's kind of a cramped defensive formation, right? You have to slowly play for a win. But one thing about it is that every piece exchange helps you when you're playing a cramped position. So it's good psychology because the lower-rated player wants to trade pieces in a simplified position, but the truth is you do too. So both sides are kind of working together to kind of give you a nice game here. So here he played bishop d2, and it may not be necessary, but I just got the queen out of the way just in case there's any surprises on the way. And after a few more moves, we've more or less completed development here. What you worry about is black and the Scandinavian are basically three things, okay? Can he push the pawn push d5? Well, no, not here. You get a million pieces defending it. Can he sack a piece on e6? Well, you can, but it doesn't get anywhere just yet. Can he sacrifice a piece on f7? Not yet. But you ask these questions every move because you're going to lose the game basically in one of those three ways if you don't. So here I played rook e8, which has a dual purpose of shoring up the e6 point and allowing a knight to f8 possibility if needed. White continues trying to trade pieces because he's happy for a draw, I guess. And after another piece trade, black's position has improved even further. I would say that black is already microscopically better now because he has pressure on the d4 point and a bishop versus knight advantage. But with correct play, the game should still be a draw. But I'm able to start making some aggressive moves for a change, which is by virtue of having all this breathing space now, the queen can come out to a5 safely. You notice that nothing can sacrifice out itself on e6 or f7. There's no d5 push, so you're okay with being a little aggressive here. Here I bring my last inactive piece into the game. And after knight e5, you say to yourself, well, can I play the c5 break, which is what I've been playing for the whole time? That's how you're going to really unbalance the game. But the answer is no, because he might snap the pawn on b7, or he might play knight to c4, either one of which would be irritating. So you're going to be very patient and prepare a little bit further. And that's why I dropped the queen back. And after f4, my opponent offered a draw. I find this to be a significant moment in the game because at long last black gets his pawn break in, which he's been playing for. It's kind of a funny thing that even though black has the cramped position, it's actually easier for him to organize a pawn break than it is for white. Like, you can see how the c5 break might be possible, but it's hard for white to get a pawn break in. His best chance might be someday f5, but right now that's not working. But anyway, he doesn't want a weak d pawn, so after a trade of pawns, I'd be very patient and I'd go back and defend my weak b7 pawn. In the endgame, Cherysshevsky says, do not rush, and so do not hurry. So after a few more moves, notice here that black's goal is to place all his pieces on the light squares because he has a dark squared bishop. We reached this position, and so here I seized an opportunity to take control of the d file. He must take back with the queen, because if he takes with the rook, the e5 point drops. But now we've accumulated another small advantage. And after queen e2, I played bishop d5, and he must take with the pawn, because if he takes with the queen, he's going to lose a pawn. In the end, to rook b2. So he took with the in this position he took with the pawn. After rook d5, king h3, queen d7, black has a clear advantage here, and after another 16 moves or so, I was able to go on and win the game from here. Basically, black dominates the d file. White has a weak e6, e5 pawn, and his king is exposed. So I think that I'd like to stop the video here. That's all I have for you today. The main thing is to be aware of white sacrifices on e6 and f7. Watch out for the d5 break, and very, very slowly and patiently prepare the c5 break yourself. And that's how you can get a chance to play for the win as black in the simplified Scandinavian, where he allowed that early trade on d3 of the bishops there. That's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and hope you have a great day. Take care.